Hello, I'm Barbara Vance with McLennan County Master Gardeners. I'm coming to you today from my own backyard where I grow a number of perennials. Perennials are really pretty, most of them, from spring through fall. But fall is really a great time to be thinking about perennials because it's the best time to plant them. If you want a good show in the spring and summer, then plant in the fall so the roots have time to establish themselves and give you stronger, healthier plants when the growing season comes. Perennials are really good choices for your garden for a number of reasons. For one thing, they come back year after year, as opposed to annuals, which freeze in our climate and have to be replanted every spring or fall for fall annuals, but either way, they're a one-season plant. And perennials, you plant them once, they come back year after year. So you choose well-adapted plants. They require less water, require less supplemental fertilizer, less pesticides, and are generally more kind to the earth. And they're kind to your pocketbook because you're only planting them once. Other good features of perennials are they multiply very well. Some of them reseed and some of them expand by roots, runners, things like that. But you have new plants that you can transplant in other spots in your own garden, or you could share with neighbors and friends. If you're going to transplant perennials, the good rule of thumb of when to do that is the opposite season from which they bloom. So spring bloomers will do well to transplant in the fall and vice versa. And it's just a great way to expand your plants with very little effort. If you choose well-adapted perennials, they require less water, less fertilizer, less pesticides, just really good choices to be kind to our earth. Some of the choices of perennials I've made really are because I love birds and butterflies and hummingbirds, and so I've chosen plants that the butterflies and hummingbirds love. You're going to plant perennials anyway, you may as well plant some that the flying creatures love as well. We have such things as the purple coneflower, pink skullcap, a blue salvia, we have Turk's cap, we have bat-faced kufia. On down the way I've planted such things as yarrow and butterfly weed and other salvias, just a number of things that the butterflies and hummingbirds love. If you're going to try to attract butterflies, they also need host plants. The plants I've mentioned here are nectar plants for the butterflies and the hummingbirds, but butterflies also need host plants. So some good host plants include parsley, dill, fennel. The monarch butterfly requires butterfly weed. It's their only host plant, and I've also planted, which I have here behind me, the passion vine, which attracts the Gulf fritillary and the zebra longwing butterfly. The butterfly will deposit its eggs on these host plants, and when the caterpillars emerge, they have something to eat. So the caterpillars need the host plants, and the adult butterflies need nectar plants. It's also a good idea if you want to attract winged creatures to have a water source, very, very shallow water source in your garden for those winged creatures. And we have in our garden a fountain that my husband built from scratch. We've chosen these black river rocks from the Llano River that we picked out of the hill country, and he made this fountain, and it's actually a good choice for the butterflies because it has a good shallow water source. Butterflies need a shallow water source as opposed to a deep bird bath. They also require spots where they can light and actually bask in the sun, and it warms them. So consider adding perennials to your garden, and they'll bring you much pleasure year after year.